Hey, Coach Joe Salas here. Got a special guest. John Poulnott is the offensive coordinator at Lakewood High School in Ohio. And I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time introducing him because he's the most popular guest we have on the channel. His videos always do really well on the channel. I guess it's because he's so lovable or either because he's so knowledgeable. Probably a little bit of both. So, John, I know you're going to talk about quarterback counter today. Take it away, man.
All right. Well, I don't know about knowledge or likable, but I might just be down to earth and speak layman's terms for the rest of us that don't know all the jargon that coaches like Salas throw out there. But we are going to go over our quarterback counter, which we block the same way we do our counter. I've talked about that in the past, and I'll talk about just like Joe has said 100 times if you said it once. Stupid me when I go back and look at the numbers. What was I thinking? Why did we not run this play more often? Especially considering how many people were selling out to stop our tailback. And that's each year. It seems like you go back and you look at the numbers and you look stupid as hell when you look at your numbers and like, how do you rationalize this? Why weren't you self-scouting each week to come up with this instead of in December? This was obvious in August, September, October, and November when you were actually playing ball. But nonetheless, we'll get to that and show you some film here if I can find it. I thought I had it pulled up. All right, so looking at quarterback counter, and like I told Joe, it's going to be very to the point here, why we do things the way we do, and try to talk things through. Number one, why do we run quarterback counter? And it's an overreaction to our running back. Just like your wing T teams are looking at how people are reacting before they go to the next play. And then it's this. How we build things here. We're looking at these linebackers. In this particular game, this team was just selling out on our running back, not necessarily every play, but you'll see here these two middle linebackers, as I highlight them here at the beginning, they are just they are not doing what their coaches have taught them. They are forgetting their run keys on the line, and they are putting their eyes in the backfield, and they're seeing candy come across the quarterback's hands, and they're chasing what they're not supposed to be chasing. They're not going guard to near back. They are going straight to the back, and they are coming downhill hard, as you'll see it develop, and they're chasing the wrong thing. They're not looking at this guard pulling or this tackle pulling. They've got their eyes in the backfield. The other thing that those have seen me before, looked at the videos, we love to throw candy for the defense to respond to on the outside. We always have an RPO. We were running it before it was called RPO. It was just something we did because we had slot receivers that weren't great blockers. So we decided, well, why the hell are they blocking? What can we do with our personnel to make it a block, but not really block them? So we started running bubbles and trains and slants and hitches, anything to make that defense cover our outside receivers instead of worrying about the run game. And you'll see these linebackers right here as well as this play develops. You see the middle linebackers are expanding, but these outside linebackers, okay, they're coming out here chasing something that we're not even worried about, as a quarterback. It's completely off. But because we do run our RPO so much, they're expanding. So now we've got a 5-man box and 2 of them are running the wrong direction. Okay, we've got press coverage up top, so we automatically tell our outside receiver, if you've got press coverage there, just outside release and take them up the sideline and see how far they'll run with you. We don't want to engage that guy if we don't have to. We're trying to save our legs, and if you look at this sideline, you can see all these cats here. When they came off the bus, I was like, oh my word, these guys are going to wear us out. We owned them 3.5 out of 4 quarters. Unfortunately, the half that they won the game for them. But nonetheless, we are doing things to help our offense, take advantage of our legs as well. So we're not engaging as much as other teams do. And you'll see here again, going back to the beginning of the play, our quarterback is just going to poke that ball in the belly and ride it out. Okay, and he's pulling and he's chasing that guard or that tackle, wrapping up, depending on how we're blocking this counter. And he's at second level, and there's nobody there for him. Okay, now Connor's a great quarterback for us, but I will tell you, he's also 4'9". He's a 4'9" kid, as far as speed, so he's not running away from anybody, but he's a hard guy to pull down, and this is almost like ISO for us with him when you get that guy folding up on the backer, and he does a good job of reading blocks and getting into that crease and finding that lane once he gets through that hole. Now, you give me a 4-6 guy, that's a touchdown. We're starting from the 3-yard line, we're going to punch it in. And that's what we're trying to do. Try and create big plays out of our quarterback counter. Not a whole lot of change up front. Our offensive line's not doing anything different. It's counter to them. Okay. Now, same premise here. We got another team that is this team truly sold out on stopping our running back most of the night, especially on our swing routes. So they were desperate, stopping our running back in the game, and we were able to take advantage of it and actually pull this one out against a team that has got far more talent than we do. But again, it's what we're doing on the edges, trying to get people to expand with our slot receivers. So we're taking people out of the box on both sides, and we're getting guys going the wrong direction because they've got their eyes on the backfield instead of reading their keys up front. Okay, guys now to me, this looks like a ISO because we're running dart here instead of counter because our center didn't want to block back on the 3 technique, so we told the guard to stay. We talked about that in another video where the center has the onus to make that call. So we're comboing to backside backer. Well, this backer right here sees the guard blocking out on the 3 and the center comboing the shade with the back with the other guard. So that looks like ISO. So he's stepping up in this 8 gap like it's going to be ISO, and we're running quarterback counter the other direction. And this linebacker doesn't get the help that he needs to stop the play. So we're able to get some good yardage here as well. Now, see that beautiful cut there? I mean, that's a 4-9 cut, and he still got 10 yards. So, again, we weren't blessed with the most athletic kids, but we try to create space again with our alignments, okay, and with what we're doing on our edge to get less people in the box. We're here with 6. We're going to try this team again, as I've talked past, they're really stout defense. They were able to go to the state championship game and lost there, but obviously if you're in a state championship game, you're pretty dang good. Okay. The linebacker stepping up, going the wrong direction. This linebacker is expanding. He'll even go even further with this guy, so he's not able to come back in and help as the quarterback comes through here. So we're losing personnel on the defense that can actually help support the run game. And with the quarterback counter, we're flashing across, creating false steps with the inside linebackers if they're not reading their line keys, and we're able to. Obviously, 17 had a home run there if he makes it, but the gift that Connor did have is he's 6'6", 215 pounds, so he was a horse that was hard to bring down. But if 17 comes through here and he's got help like he's expecting from here, he misses on the outside hip. He's got help coming from the inside. It's still a tackle for loss here, but he misses and there's no one in the hole. No one in the hole for him. Now, obviously, you offensive line guys, okay, what I'm thinking right here is this tackle pulling should be trapping this linebacker coming through. We didn't get here and kick that guy. That would have been, you know, a great block for us. Would have made it a cleaner run. But nonetheless, we were able to get through despite that traffic. And the tackle turns up in that hole like he would if nothing was there. And even though he doesn't get a great block on the safety, he does cause some problems here. Safety goes outside, and the quarterback is able to cut inside and get a few more yards on this play. And I'll look at this one. I can't remember exactly why I pegged him, but probably going the wrong direction. Stepping up again. He's stepping up. This guy's flat-footed. He's not really pressing the line of scrimmage and puts him in a bad position. Okay, again, we've got outside linebackers, you know, expanding, you know, with our slot receivers. So we're reducing the numbers in the box. We've got guys chasing our running back across. This linebacker stepping up. He's expecting, you know, number 3 to get the ball here, and it really opens up as this offensive lineman is turning up in this hole. You know, Connor just gets on his hip and he gets a good run here. And I think this one goes for 50 yards. Now, obviously, I wish he would have read his block better, but if he would have, he probably didn't get 50 yards. You know, being an athlete, he was able to turn that thing up and get some yardage there. And again, this is a kid that's running a 4.9. You're not running away from anybody, but he's still making big plays despite that speed disadvantage that we have, because we're able to eliminate outside pressure on our running game because they're expanding. We got eye candy coming across, quarterbacks coming up, and we're getting people running the wrong direction because of this. And again, like I said at the beginning of the film, why we didn't run this more is beyond me. Definitely something. We've got a more athletic quarterback coming our way next year that we would love to see what he can do. Again, he's more athletic. He may not be able to run through some of the traffic that Connor did, but he's definitely going to make people miss a little bit better, and he has a better top end speed. So some of these explosive plays could even go for more. Okay, and this is just more candy on top. We're bringing this guy is bubbling back, faking a hand sweep on a 29, which would just be our outside zone. This guy's not even waiting to see what the offensive line does. He's already committed to the fact that we're running an outside play here, and he's gone before the offensive line even gets out of their stance, which gives us an advantage here as well in this particular play. We're able to get up in and get about 30 yards. Unfortunately, you saw the pill come out at the end of the play. We fumbled the ball at the end, so we weren't rewarded with a pretty good play here. And not that we did that a lot, but it does create a different look for the defense. You do it enough that they know you will hand it off, and you get some overreaction there. So that's pretty much our quarterback counter. Again, and why we run it and how we take advantage of defenses with our RPO presence in our offense, getting the people to already align outside the box and then even take 2 or 3 false steps because they want to make sure that we aren't throwing the bugs, we're not throwing the trains, and those 2 or 3 steps gives us an advantage that we need in an offensive personnel that's not your typical personnel speed-wise. We may look the part, but our running backs are running 4.8s, 4.9s. Our quarterbacks running 4.8, 4.9. They're not your 4.5, 4.6 kids that I've been used to in the past at at most of my other schools, you know, especially year in and year out. But even with that lack of speed, by creating that space and eliminating box presence, we're able to still have a pretty good run game. And, you know, as you know, I don't care, a lot of guys, I consider myself a throw first guy. Okay. But if you're going to give me yardage in the run game, I'm going to take it. And this is one of those things, if we get you chasing our ghost, we're going to hand the ball off. All right. I can't hear you.
Good job, buddy. I the only play I've never at the end of the year looked back and said we should have ran it more was QB counter, because we run the crap out of that one.
Yeah, I know you do. I mean, well, in the past, and this is obviously, coaches, you go back and you look at yourself and it was a preconceived notion that my 4'9" quarterback couldn't get the job done. And I remember I even reached out to Coach Mackey one time on his inside zone and said, look, I've got a quarterback, because I've had this guy in the past, not Connor, but another quarterback that was going to give you 5 or 6 yards if you pulled it. And I felt like the defense was willing to do that. They're like, all right, we'll go pin our ears back and kill your running back, because who the heck cares if your quarterback runs the ball? He's only going to get 5 yards. And his answer will take the 5 yards. And, sometimes it doesn't have to be a big play. It's kind of like, when we run Larry and Roger, you're expecting, all right, I want a big play, damn it. And you got to get used to, hey, it's going to be 5, 5, 5, 5, 30. It doesn't always have to be a 30-yard play like you want it to be. You don't be mad when your averages equal 10 yards a pop. Even though you had a 2 and a 1 and a 0, if it averages 10, who the heck cares?
Mm-hmm. So, I'm with you. You got to be patient on that deal. Yeah. Hey, John, what's your Twitter? I know there's a lot of guys that like your videos, and they might want to reach out to you.
You know what? I just changed my Twitter to at Coach P78, I believe, because whatever it was when they made it up, it's me.
At Coach P78.
It's just at Coach Poulnott, and that is Poulnott, at Coach Poulnott.
At Coach Poulnott.
Yeah, I changed that from Warrior Pride, because I'm not at East Wake anymore. So.
And I know you're real active on Facebook too, so that's another way to get up with you. But another great job, man. You're always straightforward and to the point, and I know everyone gets a lot out of watching you. So I appreciate you coming on and doing this, buddy.
I appreciate it. Now, hopefully that's true, and people are getting some things out of it. I know we just hired a coach that, first thing he said is, I don't like RPOs on every play. And I said, well, guess what? We run RPOs on every play. So you don't necessarily have to agree with the philosophy, but at least see the value in it.
Right. I'm with you. All right, buddy. Thanks a lot.
Yes, sir.